You're doing less and less, yet somehow you're more exhausted than ever. A text that takes 10 seconds to answer, you stare at it all day. A task that should take 5 minutes gets pushed off until tomorrow. Not because you don't know what to do, you just can't make yourself start. And then the scariest part happens. You stop blaming the exhaustion and start blaming yourself. When did I become this person? Oh, but maybe you haven't become weaker at all. Maybe you're paying back a debt you never even realized you were building. The first sign isn't a breakdown. It's a cup sitting on your desk. You see it. You know it takes 5 seconds to put away, but you don't. An email comes in. You open it, read it, close it. Tomorrow. And that's when it gets scary, because these things aren't hard. They used to be automatic. You remember being someone who could just do things. Now every tiny task feels like a test. You keep failing, so you assume you're the problem. But look again, the cup didn't get heavier. You're just carrying more than the cup, and most of it is invisible. Your body can stop, while your mind stays on shift, replaying yesterday, preparing for tomorrow, rehearsing conversations that may never happen, wondering what you forgot, who you disappointed, what might go wrong next. And you call this doing nothing. But that's the problem. Some of the most expensive work your mind does doesn't look like work, so nobody counts it, including you. You lie down, but some part of you stays on duty. Then morning comes, and you wake up tired from a day that hasn't even started. So you tell yourself, just get through today. And you do. But when today needs more than you have left, you don't magically create more. You take it from tomorrow, not all at once, in tiny withdrawals. 1 more hour, 1 more deadline, 1 more favor, 1 more, I'm fine. And it works. That's why it's dangerous. The deadline gets met. The message gets answered. Nobody worries about you. Today survives. Tomorrow pays. Then tomorrow becomes today and arrives already missing something. So you borrow again. Until one day, you're not asking, where did my energy go? You're asking, what happened to me? You used to cook. Now deciding what to eat feels exhausting. You used to answer messages. Now they sit there for days. You used to look forward to things. Now even things you want feel like work. So you call yourself lazy, unmotivated, broken. But what if you're confusing debt with identity? What if the person you're blaming is actually the person who has been paying the bill? That is energy debt, not the cost of doing too little, the accumulated cost of pushing past empty over and over again. You didn't run out of motivation. You ran out of tomorrows. You could borrow from without feeling it. And now the debt is collecting, but it doesn't collect only energy. It collects your trust in yourself. You're exhausted, so you do less. You do less, so you blame yourself. You blame yourself, so you push harder. You push harder, so you become more exhausted. And suddenly you're using pressure to repair the damage pressure created. That's the trap. At first you say, I'm tired. Then, I'm falling behind. Then, I'm lazy. And eventually, maybe this is who I am now. That's when exhaustion becomes dangerous. When it stops feeling like something happening to you and starts feeling like something wrong with you. So when your body says, I can't, you don't hear a warning. You hear an excuse. And you punish yourself by borrowing again. You think you're exhausted because you haven't done enough. But maybe You're exhausted because you never believed you were allowed to stop. And here's the part almost nobody questions. What if even your rest is serving the debt? You sleep so you can work again. Take Sunday off so you can survive Monday. Take a vacation so you can come back and tolerate the same life a little longer. You're not resting to change anything. You're resting to become functional again. That's not recovery. That's maintenance. You're repairing yourself just enough to return to what keeps draining you. So stop asking, how much rest do I need? Ask, what am I resting to go back to? Because if the answer is the same pressure, the same expectations, the same inability to say no, the same life that requires tomorrow to survive today, then more energy doesn't solve the problem. It only gives the problem more energy to consume. So maybe you've been trying to solve the wrong problem. Maybe the question isn't, how do I get my energy back? Maybe it's, why does my life cost more energy than I can afford? Because if an ordinary day requires you to steal from tomorrow just to survive today, then eventually this stops being an energy problem. It becomes a life problem. And maybe your exhaustion isn't asking you to become stronger. Maybe it's asking you to finally notice what strength has been costing you. Because recovery isn't becoming strong enough to keep paying for a life that empties you. It's realizing you were never supposed to spend your whole life paying it back.